can you help me with this? They would say, I don't know how to run a business in the US. I don't speak enough English. You hear that a lot. And so I got to thinking, instead of working directly with one woman, how about let's bring a group of women together who all have the same goal of running a successful business as an entrepreneur here in the US, but also build in a pretty big community aspect to it, where not only am I teaching them how to run a business, but I'm giving them those connections and that social support, because we all know that's really what makes you successful, is who you know, and how they help you out. And so that's how the nonprofit Echo Collective was born. So I wanted to empower communities through her opportunities, and that lended ECHO, the acronym. A lot of times when folks come in the country, they are just so lonely. Especially, I see it in mothers, because their husbands are typically the first to seek employment. And so they have their work colleagues, and then their children are creating friendships at school. And unless the woman is able to connect with her neighbors, or she's able to attend, English language learning classes, it's very difficult for her to create relationships, especially relationships outside of her culture. And that's very alienating, to live for years, decades in a country where you don't have any friends who were born in that country. They see the economic benefit, and they see the women moving from not having a business to having a business, and the benefit in that. But honestly, the greatest thing that these women are taking away is a belief in themselves. And that sounds so corny, but once the women believe in themselves, I just have to get out of the way. That's the real key for them, is they have a lot of the skills they need already. They just need someone to open some doors, point them in the right direction, and then, cheer them on as they just take over the world. She kept telling me, I don't know how, I don't want to start a business and do something wrong, get in trouble with the law. I don't speak enough English. I don't know if I can. I mean, can I be a business owner? Can I be an entrepreneur? I'm just a woman. Is that something I can do? And at the time, she was living in a mobile home without any type of yard, with 3 little boys and her spouse, and her boys couldn't even play outside because the neighbors, it just wasn't a safe environment. And so I convinced her, after I started the refinery, I convinced her to join the first cohort, and she started. And she is still very shy about the progress of her business. But just on Monday, she placed her products in a From Nebraska gift shop in the Haymarket. So she's now in store, and she has a great partnership with a local knit shop that's called Knit Paper Scissors. And she now owns a home with a huge backyard and a sandbox, and her boys can actually play with the neighbor kids and go outside. And so I'm really proud of Cecilia, because she overcame a lot of fear and insecurity of it. And that's one really fun part about working with other cultures is, it's not just the language and the food and the clothing, and it's how they view the world, how they view relationships. And that's fascinating to me. And I have learned so much. And I shouldn't use the word taken. I have adopted so many different ways of looking at the world from these other cultures.
Yeah.
That in like they will tell me, oh, we do it this way because of this, and I think that is way better than how I do it as an American.
Sure.
And so my life and how I interact with people, just with every woman I meet, it changes just a little bit because they bring so much value to my life. It's such a rat race for the possession of wealth here in the United States that is just exhausting, and we're just raised in this society where you never make it. You're always looking towards the new iPhone that just released, and getting a new car and upgrading your house, and updating your wardrobe, at least once a season. And it's ridiculous.
That's fair.
It's ridiculous when that's where your eyes are set, and a lot of Americans' eyes are set towards the just accumulation of possessions.
Yep.
And when you're on that path, you are never going to share. I don't think people realize how easy it is to change a life.
Okay. Yeah.
You could change someone else's life in 5 minutes without giving any money or without saying anything particularly motivational.
Yeah.
And so, I think if you want to see changes on the national scale, you have to be invested in your local community. You have to know your city council members. You have to get real chummy with local elected officials, and obviously look at your state legislature before getting super concerned about what we have going on in Congress or in the executive office. And so I highly recommend that every single person should be volunteering.
Yeah.
Even if it's 1 hour a month. That focus on, just people don't realize that when you recognize the humanity in another person and you focus on commonality, so much can get done.
Yeah. And
how when you share of yourself and the things that you have, it's such a rewarding experience. When you give with open hands, your hands will never be empty. And I firmly believe that.